Hi, welcome back to my channel, or if you're here for the first time, welcome. I'm Stacey. I'm a therapist in private practice in the Jackson, Mississippi area, and today we are going to be talking about the 5 love languages. The 5 love languages were developed by Gary Chapman, a PhD, and he wrote a book called The 5 Love Languages in 1992. And since then, he has put out dozens of books related to this subject. The 5 love languages are based on the idea that everybody has a preferred way to receive and to give love. And by understanding the love language of your partner or your family members, the people that you're close to, you can make sure to express your love to them in a way that they perceive as love. And what can happen is if we have very different love languages than our partner, we might be expressing love to them and they may not be understanding that what we are doing is an expression of love. So the 5 love languages are, and I have to read this because I always forget one: words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch. So we're going to get more into talking about each of the love languages, but first I want to share with you a clip from a popular television show that I thought did a really great job of showing how couples can be really out of sync when it comes to the way that they express love and the way that their partner wants to receive it. So this is a clip from the television show Blackish. I really hope that I don't get a copyright strike and have to take this video down, because I really think that this is a great way of really showing how couples can be so out of sync when it comes to love. Now, in this clip, Rainbow and Dre, husband and wife for many years, are talking about how each of them thinks the other is a very bad gift giver and has never said anything up until this point. So this is a couple-minute clip. We're going to go ahead and get into it, and then after you watch that, we're going to talk about it.
Talking to the guys made me realize, so what if Bo was terrible at gifts? I was big enough to put my personal feelings aside and give my badass wife the fanciest present I could find. Bo? Come in here, babe.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna open it.
Okay.
Oh, Dre. Oh, this is incredible. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
It is, isn't it?
Oh my god, Dre, I can't wait to show everybody.
Well, at least one of us knocks it out of the park every year.
What'd you say?
Hey, you know what, babe? I'm just going to come clean. Year after year, I give you the best presents in the world, and your gifts to me don't even come close.
Huh?
Baby, I love you. But your gift game is straight trash.
Dre. We're being honest right now, right?
Tell the truth and shame the devil.
Uh-huh. You give terrible gifts.
What?
You give boo-boo gifts. Boo-boo gifts, Dre. You have the receipt for that? Huh?
You've been faking it?
Yeah.
I bought you diamonds.
It was nice at first. But how much jewelry does a woman need?
You can never have too many diamonds, Bo.
Let me tell you, Dre, the best gift that I ever got in my entire life was when I was a kid. My dad, he hand-sewed me a doll that looked like me. There's no way that a store-bought gift can compare to something with meaning behind it. Why do you think I took that art class last year? So I could hand paint you a tree that represents our family.
But I wanted a fur.
Yeah, and you bought yourself the fur, Dre.
It's not the same thing, Bo.
Feeling for the child.
Okay, look. What you're saying is nice. I get it.
Thank you.
But babe, I never thought I would be able to spend real money on the people I love. And now that I'm able to, it's what I do.
Okay. You know what, Dre? Forget I said anything. Get me whatever you want.
No. Babe, I can change because I love you. So, for Valentine's Day, I am going to find you a thoughtful gift.
Thank you, my love.
But I also need to be treated in a gift lifestyle to which I've become accustomed.
Then I will buy you something so expensive that our home insurance policy won't cover it.
So I had to get Bo a meaningful but cheap-ass gift, which meant...
So it's pretty obvious from this exchange that Dre prefers gifts. He wants expensive, luxurious gifts like a fur coat. And he is giving gifts to his wife in the way that he wants to receive gifts, which, you know, for giving gifts for birthday, Valentine's Day, these are expressions of love. So Dre gives diamonds to Bo because he likes to receive expensive gifts. So he erroneously assumes that that is what she values as well. But we see when they finally talk about it that Bo, because of the way that she was brought up, prefers heartfelt, sentimental gifts that have something to do with the relationship. So I would consider this to be more of a quality time type of love language because it takes paying attention to what your partner likes, paying attention to that relationship, and then spending the time to make a gift that is sentimental and important. So I consider that one to be more of a quality time. And you see in the end of the clip that they both agree to try to give a gift that is more what the other one wants to receive, even if it doesn't really make sense to them why the other one likes those particular gifts. So this is the reason that knowing your own love language and the love language of your partner is so important, because even if it doesn't really make sense to us, we want to make sure that the way that we are expressing love is the way that most means something to our partner. So we're going to go through the 5 love languages, talk a little bit more about them, and then I will have some resources in the description box down below where you can actually take a quiz to find out what your love language is. If you're not sure, you can take this quiz with your partner and you can each figure out what each other's love language is. So the first love language on the list is words of affirmation. And this is pretty self-explanatory. I think affirmations are things that we say that are positive. So affirmations are going to be things that we express out loud in words or maybe in writing to our partner about them. So if words of affirmation is your love language, you want to hear things like, I appreciate the things that you do so much. You're so beautiful. You're so handsome. You know, you do an amazing job taking care of our kids. You are so great at your job. They're so lucky to have you there. I support you. And that person wants you to say those words to them, and that's their preferred way of receiving love. So let's say your partner's love language is words of affirmation, but your love language is acts of service. So instead of saying, wow, I love you, you're so great, I'm so happy that we're together, you're the best partner ever, you do things to show your love through acts of service. So you may see that your partner is complaining a lot about a drawer that sticks in the bathroom vanity that you have to push really hard to get the door to close. So to show your partner love, you, as a surprise, fix that drawer so that it is smoother, and every day they're not having to push really hard to get that drawer to close. And you're thinking, oh great, you know, I've done this amazing, wonderful, loving thing. And then your partner maybe doesn't notice, or is like, oh great, Thanks, yeah, thanks for doing that. And you might get upset and be like, what on earth? I've taken the time to fix this thing for you. This thing you complain about all the time that you use every day. This should be a big deal to you, and it's not. What is going on here? And then suddenly you feel bad and you might get into an argument or a fight. But it's because the way that you're expressing love is not something that your partner understands is an expression of love. Does that make sense? So for words of affirmation, you want to specifically say the things to your partner. Now, the second love language is acts of service, which we just talked about. So this is going to be things like fixing something around the house, or running an errand for you if you're really busy, cooking dinner, things that actually involve doing something. It's a very active love language. I always hate to be stereotypical when it comes to things, but I feel like I have seen a lot in my own life, in the people that I know, in my clients, that acts of service tend to be something that men tend toward in the way that they express love. So people will complain that my husband never says I love you, he never like puts his arms around me, but he may make sure that he changes the oil in your car every 3 months. So we don't always understand that those acts of service are an expression of love. Receiving gifts, and this is pretty obvious. You want gifts. You want somebody to buy you things or make you things, but you want to receive something that your partner is giving to you wrapped with a bow or in a gift bag. And they can be really simple things. My family of origin, giving and receiving gifts was one of the main ways that love was expressed. And that would be in small things, like making sure that somebody's favorite snack is always in the house, or making sure to always celebrate, even after my sister and I were too old, for things like Easter baskets. My mom would always do Easter baskets and Valentine's, and always have things for us to open and surprises. And that was the way that she especially showed love. And they don't always have to be really expensive gifts. You know, we're not all like Dre in the clip where it has to be furs and diamonds. Sometimes it can be just something very simple, like your partner mentions that they're out of Post-its in their office and you buy them Post-its, or just something little like that. But gifts, I feel like, is pretty, I think all of these are actually pretty basic when you understand the concept. Like, none of them are really hard to get. The problem comes when our love language is very different than the love language of our partner, and there's a disconnect there. So the fourth love language is quality time. I think the important word in this is quality. You know, if you spend a lot of time doing things in the same room but not interacting, or you know, you always go to the kids' plays and soccer games and you cook dinner together, you know, that may or may not be considered quality time by one or the other of you. I would say quality time in a relationship would be things like having a date night, or actually sitting down at the dinner table and talking instead of watching TV while you eat. So it's the quality of the time, not necessarily the quantity of the time. It's about connection. And the fifth and final love language is physical touch. Like I said before, sometimes women especially will complain, you know, my husband never puts his arms around me, he never holds my hand, he doesn't touch me. And that's because that person's love language is physical touch. And that doesn't necessarily have to be something sexual. It could be something like, if you're having a bad day, you want a hug or to be held. Whereas someone whose love language is gifts, if they're having a bad day, they would really like for somebody to bring them flowers. Somebody whose love language is words of affirmation, if they're having a bad day, they want to hear someone say, I'm so sorry you're having such a bad day, you know, you're trying so hard, you're still doing a great job, you might be struggling now, but you're gonna get it. So you can kind of see how by knowing the love language of the people that you're close to, you can express love to them in a way that is meaningful to them. As I said in the beginning, Dr. Chapman does have some resources on his website, and it allows you to take a quiz to figure out what your love language is. You can also take that quiz with your partner or have them take the quiz as well, so you each know what the other person's love language is. There is one that is love languages for teens, so it is a way of getting on the same page so that you know to express love in a way that your partner values. And there's a lot of memes about love languages, but this is my favorite. There's one about going to Target that I also really like, but the burrito one is my favorite. There's a taco one as well, but I feel like physical touch works better as a burrito. So the burrito love language meme is words of affirmation. This is a good burrito. Acts of service. I made you a burrito. Receiving gifts. Here is this burrito. Quality time. Let's go get some burritos together. Physical touch. Arms wrapped around the person in a big warm hug like a burrito. So I like the way that people put this in ways that's really easy to conceptualize. You know, we really understand what we're talking about. We can picture all of those things. So I think one more thing to point out before we wrap up this video is that sometimes the way that we want to receive love, our love language, is not always the way that we express love. That can be different. You might remember I said earlier in the video that my family of origin expresses love through gifts. So I am a quality time or a physical touch person, kind of depends on the day, but those are my two highest, most important love languages. But the way that I tend to express love is by buying thoughtful gifts for people, because that's what I grew up with. So I may pay attention to something that my best friend says, oh, I really want that eyeshadow palette, because she's very into beauty and makeup products. And then I might like make a note of that and say, okay, I'm gonna buy her that eyeshadow palette for her birthday. Or one of my other good friends really loves sharks and Shark Week, so I buy her a lot of things that have sharks on them, because that is just how what I'm used to. I grew up with gifts being the love language. So even though I enjoy getting a gift, but that's not my preferred way to receive love, but that is my default way of giving love. So keep in mind that those things can be different. Your love language is not necessarily the way that you give and receive love. Your love language is the way that you want to receive love, your preferred way for love to be shown to you. So Dr. Chapman has written many books on this subject, and you can find information about all that on his website, which is linked down below for the quizzes. I hope that you have found this video to be informative and helpful. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please consider giving it a like and subscribing if you haven't already. I bring you a new video every week called Ask the Therapist, and then these longer videos about various subjects just as I have the time and inspiration to do them. If you happen to be in the Jackson, Mississippi area, you can come and see me for therapy. I will also have my website linked down below, and you can visit that if you'd like to learn more about me or make an appointment to come and see me for therapy. Thank you again for watching, and remember, be kind to yourself today and be kind to other people too. I'll see you in the next video.